Let's do it.
Hello.
Yo. Hey,
I'm
hey.
okay, Rose.
Ching ching. I'm okay, passion.
We love you.
I won't say grand rising, but I love that expression. But it's not. It's
Any
nighttime
any
now.
time of the day,
Grand
grand
moon rising.
rising. Yeah.
Grand
Or
moon
grand
rising.
lying if you're going to bed. So today we want to talk about dis-ease. So how energy is not flowing throughout the body, which therefore causes physical symptoms. This is my
Illness
special
and
subject.
disease. Illness and disease. Okay, so the reason why I love this subject is because, and I kind of fell into this a bit by accident. So I was doing my NLP, my master's course, way back. And I had a lady who I was working with, really sweet lady. She was telling me this story about how she had a really, really busy life. She was way too busy with whatever career she was doing at the time. And I can't remember what she told me because obviously this is like 15 years ago or something. But it's something along the lines of, I was really, really, really busy and I got a broken ankle and I still didn't
Yeah,
stop. And I was
that's
really, really, really,
funny.
really busy hobbling around on this broken
Yeah.
ankle. And I kind of knew I should be resting it, but I didn't. I carried on and on and on and on. And then and she said something else. I can't remember what it was. And she still didn't stop. And she goes, I was going around with this and this and this. And still, I think she must have healed from the broken ankle by then.
Yeah.
And but the next thing was a bit more severe, something like, I don't know, she had a car accident with whiplash really badly or something,
Wow. The angels
something
wanted her
like
to
that.
stop, eh?
And she still didn't stop. And then she got breast cancer.
Oh,
And I was like, and that stopped you,
wow.
right? And she's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, did that stop everything?
Yeah,
That stopped me
yeah.
in my tracks. And I had time off work, and I think she was saying something like she was able to spend some really good time with her son, who she was really, really close to. And it made her realize that her life was out of balance and that
Yeah.
she actually really wanted to do coaching, which is why she ended up on the NLP course. And I was like, that's why you got the breast cancer.
Yeah.
And it was such a moment of dead ding, light bulb moment for both of us. We both knew intuitively in our stomach that this was the truth. And she was like, wow, yeah. And on our course as well, they taught us how to use pendulum to diagnose kind of health issues. And they said, don't try and use it to win the lottery. It won't work. It's not designed for
Find
that.
your boyfriend. It doesn't work. I've tried it.
Yeah, as my boyfriend would kill me. Anyway, so we had a lady who was a singer and she developed like a cyst on her throat and it
Right.
stopped her singing career. And everyone was like, oh, it's a bit of a bummer, And,
Yeah.
and she goes, well, not really. She goes, I used to get real anxiety before I perform, like 24, 48 hours before. I'd get really bad, like sweats, couldn't concentrate on anything, like it was really, really bad. But as soon as I was on stage, it was fine. I loved it.
Right.
And I was like, that's why your body gave you the cyst, because they're like, well, we're not going through this palaver every time you've got to perform. This is ridiculous, so we'll just stop that. And it
Absolutely.
started, I realised that, and it was about the same time I was developing a lot of my own material and, this whole paint again, and there's always a gift in everything, and, kind of packing it up the way I do, because I know a lot of other people have done the same or similar or whatever, but everyone's put their own little sort of, packaging on it. And I just realised that the positive intention of disease, because we are born with a blueprint of perfect health. It's how the body knows to heal our cells back. So if you cut your skin, your body knows how to replace what cells to grow, how to do it. Bang, it's perfect. No computer can do that for you. Although quantum computers,
Med
we're gonna
beds, get them out.
med beds, yeah, whatever. Anyway, we're not including that.
We just spoke them into
And
existence. It's fine though.
I just thought this is really, really, really cool. And being able to decipher and decode somebody's
Mm,
physical disease or illness, I find fascinating. Oh,
absolutely. It speaks
I'll
for
admit I need probably more practice on it, but it's as intuitive as if you're giving them a reading or something. You just
yeah.
something comes up and bubbles up into your mind, and you're like, oh my lord, that's what it is. Or
And it's often like with a lot of the signs, it's often so obvious what the disease is showing you. For example, should we talk about ME? What does it spell
Yeah.
out? Me.
Me.
So I've known
You
a lot
talk
of
about this. This
women.
is your experience, though.
So I've had ME. I'm not allowed to say I've got it. Well, I don't feel like I do have it much anymore. I have most of my life is excellent days. Anyway, most of the women I know have had or have ME, they have been the most overachieving women I've ever. Surprised you don't. You do so bloody much.
This is another thing I
These
have
women
to
have
say
had
about
like
ME.
7 children and they just don't stop, you know? Yeah, they just go.
ME, in my experience, because I've had several people in my close friends who've had it, ME stops you doing what you were doing, and
Yeah,
often it's because you're definitely going in the wrong direction for your soul mission,
absolutely. Or
and it's
you
just like,
feel,
nah, you're doing this, you're going strong at it. You ain't gonna stop this unless I stop you. Bang,
yeah.
have ME. Yeah.
Or you'll stop because you have to face certain demons which you're just not looking at, like you have to stop to look at them to emotionally heal. Or what was the other thing I was saying? I feel that part of my fatigue was not doing exactly what I wanted to do in life. You know, I wasn't 100% doing what made my soul like sing, you know. So
Hmm.
that's what I feel. It's so important to do, like a lot of people, like I care for someone who's got ME and she's so focused on like the diet and and doing the emotional healing, which is great, but she doesn't do anything that makes her fucking happy. Oh, sorry, I swore. That makes her happy. You know, she's not happy. She just does. She's not doing anything that brings her
Too
joy, and the
focused on
joy.
herself, that's why. This woman, whenever you talk about her, this energy, I feel
Oh,
like it's just
it's
so
not.
focused on herself. She's not
She hasn't
giving.
got ME for being stopped to like focus on her. I can't work out why she's manifested it, because she is, I'm not gonna lie, an energy whore, an energy taker. What do you feel about that? She's literally.
I just feel she's too focused on her. There's no giving in her. There's no giving and
But why
gratitude.
would you manifest ME then if you don't have a giving attitude? Like what's the it's a funny one. I haven't clocked it. I know it's
It's
been
hard
part
because
of
I
her
don't. It's funny.
awakening. So it's basically been her pain and suffering to wake up. Like she's learned
But
about.
didn't you say, as with you, it's given her a chance to really explore spiritual stuff?
Yeah,
Was it something
absolutely.
like that?
She's woken up from it's how we wake up, you know, from our bad experiences, and so she
Mm.
has woken up from it. But it was, you know, it is what she's experienced is a big one. She's been in bed for 3 years, and I don't know if she's just made it that extreme. You know, some of us might not take it to that level.
I knew, I knew a boy who was the brother of my boyfriend when I was young. I was with this guy for 9 years from 17. And the brother was a younger brother. And from the age of 12 and a half, he developed ME. And his brother was a bit of an overachiever. His brother was, he has been a massive achiever in his life. And his
Yeah.
brother, because what happens with siblings, often you'll do the opposite to what your sibling did subconsciously. So if your
Right.
sibling did well, you'll rebel. If
Right.
your sibling is
Interesting.
naughty, you'll be the goody goody.
Yeah, yeah,
So this is a generalization, but it's very, very interesting how often this is the case.
yeah,
And I think something in him just went, I'm never going to be able to compare to him. He's the older one, he's the achiever, opposite direction.
yeah.
And he
Interesting.
did seem to be, because obviously this is a long time ago for me, and he had it for a long time, bless him. And he did seem to be a bit of a deep soul.
Right.
Again, you know, having to sit there and just think about, or just be able to exercise your mind is kind of, it's a pretty powerful tool. Like your body
Mhm.
has manifested something really, really powerful and really transformative, because you can explore whatever you like, can't you? When you're in your bed and you can't move.
That's where I did all my spiritual learning. Like if I hadn't
Yeah.
been made to stop, I wouldn't have like watched hours of videos and just take all the information. You know, it is a slight blessing in disguise, you know.
Oh,
I know so
massively.
much learning from like having to rest, but because I have such a kind of an active brain and I want to do, you know, I had to get my information from somewhere. It's alchemy, isn't it, basically?
So let's go through and talk about the literal sense, or the literal side, shall we say, of why the human body, brain, soul, whatever you want to call it, ego, whatever. I haven't even gone there as to, all I know it's the positive manifestation of, for positive reasons, of illness and disease. So the literalness is almost funny. Like you say, ME, your disease even tells you what to focus on is
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
I feel like, for example, things to do with the spine, the back, it's almost speaking about somebody I'm aware of. I want to suggest the spine is about strength, inner strength,
Right.
because he has been, I don't want to say pushed around or manipulated, but he has been. And if he had had this inner strength of,
It's like
you're not
having a
doing that to me.
backbone.
Yeah, without the negative cowardice type of thing, because it's not that. It's about this inner strength of saying, you almost people who are too gentle, too kind, too giving, too loving, but there can be an imbalance there too where people take, the mick out of you.
I
There's
wonder if
another
it's
girl. Go on.
connected to, like you just said, when you're it's a lot of energy taking, because your kundalini is your spine, you know, that's your energy center. So it's like what you're saying, if you're just constantly depleted, you haven't got that like life force within you, you know. And I do feel it's like a real big imbalance in the chakra, because thinking back to when I've had bad back pain in life, it's definitely been periods when I've been highly stressed, quite depressed, being through the worst periods, and just, you know, you're like, oh, my back really hurts or whatever. It's
And it
interesting.
does immobilize you. So again, similar to the ME, you become immobilized almost as if to say, do not continue this way.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like your
Stops
body
your
saying,
attacks.
stop, stop,
So, so in
regroup.
those regions, we also have stomach, and stomach issues are closely related to processing. So if you don't
Digestion.
digestion, you're digesting your food. So if you don't process your emotions or your situations or your traumas, you like develop, you know, leaky gut, all those kind of
IBS,
things.
yeah.
It's amazing, really. It's
What
funny when you
else?
say these things. It's so obvious. It's that like so many people I heard of who have heart attacks, and you know, I feel into their relationships, and I'm like, they really weren't, you know, they weren't receiving the love that they should have been getting. They literally
Yeah,
died of a heart attack. And
yeah.
collectively, there's a lot of we have a lot of tooth problems, you know, a lot of toothache, and that is because we've been shut down. We don't speak our truth, you know. It's just
Sore throats.
sore throats, exactly, like anything like around those regions, like
Yeah, blocked.
there it
Isn't
is.
it funny? Every time we do a podcast, I get
No.
this. I don't get this in the day. It's so funny.
And then also we were feeling into before that
Let's look at the
headache.
reason. Well, I tell you, I know what this is. I think it has just occurred to me that sometimes in life you feel like you cannot speak the truth. You're being blocked from
Absolutely.
speaking the truth because you don't want to upset people.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
actually, sometimes speaking the truth is a way of subconsciously assisting people, as long as it's done with love and tact and consideration, to say, when the time is right for you, you can come to me.
Yeah, that's
Do you
true.
know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
there's a reason why I have so many sleepers coming to visit me at the moment and stay with us.
so
It's one after the other,
you're
after
just
the other. And then I hear
transforming
they're coming back, and
cognitive
I'm like,
dissonance in your house.
already? Oh, it's on another level. It's astonishing. Even my hubby is like, whoa. You know,
Wow.
to the point where you say, do you not want to find out about the silver lining behind all this?
Yeah,
No, no, no,
yeah.
no, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. okay. And actually, you don't want to upset somebody, but then you think you're living with this pessimistic outlook, which is very fear-based and very
Mhm.
scary.
Absolutely.
I want to
And the
alleviate
truth,
that for you.
it sets you free. It sets you onto a whole nother level of happiness, freedom. You don't have the pain of worrying about money or the mainstream media, or you believe you're fully protected. So actually what you're trying to give them, that I think that's why it breaks our hearts, because we know we're offering freedom and they're almost saying like no. They're almost not ready for, I don't know,
They're
it's
saying,
weird
I'm too
though, isn't it?
afraid. But anyway, that's slightly deviating from the subject. So, what else is there? So, things like,
So headaches, I was just feeling into, it's if you're too much in your mind, your energy is all in your head. So of course you're going to get a headache. And also it's fear, isn't it? It's a lot of fear in the head. So,
and depression is when you're too focused on yourself, as in,
and
not from a
depression is,
selfish point of view, but again, it's more about what you're not getting rather than what you're
yeah,
not giving.
yeah, it's like
Because
about
I'm not
service,
getting
isn't it?
connection, I'm not getting
Yeah.
this, I'm not getting attention, I'm not getting something.
A
I'm not
lack.
getting daylight.
It's almost like a lack programming can cause depression, if you know what I mean. It's like if you apply
Absolutely.
gratitude, then you don't have the need to be depressed because you're not missing anything, are you really? Like,
But then I will speak up for the people, because people say things like, oh, what about if you're like chemically imbalanced? Then you're not getting enough of the sun,
yeah,
which
that's
is
and also I feel there's like I'm so grateful for what happened to me, because I always say it to people, because people hate feeling ill because you can't do anything, there's pain, but the lessons that come emotionally from being ill, physically, it's like it's soul growth to the max, like because you can't do, and you can't, you really have to search so deep. So don't be scared, it's illness in the flip. And also the other thing about disease is that we upgrade our bodies, especially with the ascension symptoms. It's good news, you're
yeah,
activating your crystalline DNA, like it's incredible, it's the best thing you could ever hope for.
viruses.
Really.
Viruses are upgrading our DNA.
Exactly, the
Every virus you
viruses and
get.
cold, they shift any density you have in your vessel. It is not a like God created, I don't know if it's Kabul, whatever, but yeah, that is why we don't need fear, it's like it's just really beautiful. I just want to quickly say also, depression is if you're living in the past, ding, and then anxiety is if you're so worried about the future because you want to control it, don't you? You're like you're spinning out. So yeah.
What
I
else is
love
there
this
to
topic. It's amazing, isn't
It is
it?
really cool. It would be really good to be able to talk to somebody, because you literally just have to listen to them talk about it and they tell you subconsciously, it all comes out. You
Yeah,
just put the puzzle together or you just add the words together. And being a third party who maybe doesn't know somebody that well or this aspect of them that well, it's so clear to you if you're looking at it. If you're kind of looking out for it, because you're saying, hang on a minute, you love doing this, but you've just said when you do this, you get that. So
yeah,
that stops
yeah.
that. So that's why it's happened, is because, or something
I,
along those lines.
I think you're just amazingly intuitive at gauging it. You can clock it so quick for somebody. You can be like, oh yeah. So I can get the real obvious things. Like someone said to me the day, they were like, oh yeah, I've got real bad toothache. I was like, well, yeah, you're not speaking your truth at all.
You
But
know,
like
I think
you
you're,
and me, you completely gauged my ME. You were like, yeah, you give everything away, love. There's nothing left for you, is there? I'm like, oh no, you're right.
and by the way, your soul was forcing you to learn stuff that you'd need for your soul mission. It was forcing you to go to spiritual school, basically, by sitting in your bed and not doing anything.
Oh,
And
I'd go a million times again. I love it so much. It's so
it was
awesome.
so cool. It is. I mean, it's so amazing when you explore subjects like this to just literally fall into this drowning pool of euphoric gratitude, which I
Yeah,
fucking love it, to be
absolutely.
honest. I
Yeah.
love it. It's amazing. And you know what else? You don't have to have money or privilege or breeding or any of these social markers that, people deem to equal success. This is success. This is, if you've sussed your
Abundance,
life out,
isn't it?
if you can be free of emotional triggers, traumas, DIS, that is winning.
Yeah.
That's 5D. That's frontline
And
5D.
do you know what I also feel is winning, which I never thought I would be this person, but I strive for the growth now. I look forward to the tests and the lessons that are chaotic, that are hard work, that cause anxiety, because I know the breakthroughs from them are just like, yeah, I'm just like, I love it. I used to be comfort zone. I used to be like, chill out and watch Netflix, but now I think that was like hermit mode, and that was like spiritual awakening. And now I'm like, yeah, next. Come on, let's go. Let's start this revolution,
Can you
baby.
feel the mastery levels? Can you feel how it starts to shift and change, and you don't get the same triggers anymore because you've already done the healing?
Exactly. And when you can all like, I've been doing this thing recently, which I absolutely love, realizing that everything and everyone is your mirror. And it's so
An angel.
textbook, but it's
Yeah.
incredible. Like, it's just
Amazing. We didn't see it
amazing.
before, isn't it?
I know.
Well,
How, like, before I could do it with maybe like my twin flame and a little bit with my family, but now I can see it with most every experience I manifest. It's incredible.
yeah. But there is also the thing to be said that you can only see what you are in the presence of what you're not. I find that you need to have, and this is leading me on to my buzzword of the week, wisdom. So
Oh, I
it
pulled
takes your
that card
wisdom.
earlier. I was like, I was looking for,
Did
because
you?
you've been talking to me about it, and I was like spinning a little, I was tripping out a little bit. So I was like, I'm gonna pull a card, and it was wisdom. And I was like, okay, a passion coming through there.
I love it because it's when you have to, it's like you've sussed out the angels there to give you signals and signs all the time, and then they're like, no, we're going to let you suss this one out for yourself. So it's
Absolutely.
like, is this my mirror, or is this showing me my glory, because this is the opposite of what I am? That is when
Yeah,
you start to really become you access your divinity,
yeah,
because it's
absolutely.
your, you've had the you've gone down the avenue of, let me look at myself here
Yeah,
straight away. That's what you're
yeah,
doing. Let me get that magnifying glass out and that mirror. Let's have a
yeah,
good
yeah,
look around here. And then you go, no, I don't, kind of, it's not triggering me, but I can see this thing. And then you can think, well, maybe this is showing me what I am in the presence of what I'm not. And I think you can only really genuinely validate that, or say that, when you have first inspected yourself hard.
yeah,
If you just jump
absolutely.
to the whole, oh, they're just, they're just this and they're just that, and I'm smug and I'm wonderful.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah,
pride before a fall. Whereas if you've kind of gone, oh, how am I being maybe this tactless, or whatever it is? How am I
yeah.
being curt, or as long as you've looked at, and I think there's always going to be a little bit of it in, as a little reminder, don't get this, don't become
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
you're not there yet, but you're getting a bit close for the comfort. I think as long as you go to this self-review thing, which I will big myself up because I don't do it enough. I will big myself up from now. I will. Mum, look, listen, I'm
Yeah,
doing it.
you're amazing.
In that, I love that when I
Got
have a
white light
conflict with someone,
shining straight down from your crown
across my
chakra,
head,
by the way.
yes, my unicorn horn,
Yeah,
um,
the
is that
divinity steaming through straight
when I
into
have a
it.
conflict with people, the first thing I'll do is go, what did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong?
Yeah,
And I'll
yeah.
look at my actions, and I actually really like that. It's a strategy I
I was gonna
definitely want to
say,
keep.
but that means you're a really good person because you don't think, I'm wrong. That's an admirable quality, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I think they say something like, is it a wise man doubts himself first, and a fool will never doubt his own position, or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Something along those lines. I have to find it, but I like that because I think, and also, I kind of think I half like being proved wrong because it means I learned something, so I'm better than I was before.
Oh, it's a win-win. I also just want to
Exactly.
touch on the mirror thing as well, that I feel that your soul at a certain stage feels that it's prepared to use the tool of a mirror, whereas, you know, at some levels you don't feel healed enough to be able to be like, well, that's a mirror. You're just not there yet. And then it gets to a certain level where you're like, okay, I see how this works. I'm not going to take it personal. I'm using this to my advantage, this mirror technique. I'm not a bad person.
Absolutely.
This is like for my greatest, grandest. This is like anchoring in my higher self. And then the other thing, which I think we should all start doing, which I think we do a lot in the light worker community, is understand. And then we say, like, I love you. And I totally love being around light workers. And because that we mirror each other. So if you see something beautiful in someone else, that is you. And that is such a beautiful gift you can give to yourself. That is like divine
And
self-love,
each
being
other.
like, yeah, being like, this person is so funny. Ding, that's me. Like they're mirroring back because I'm that funny. This person is so lovely and kind. Ding, that's me. Like I think we should all use that one all the time. I think we've earned it, you know? We've worked hard for it.
It's nice. I think definitely getting to a place where you have lost a lot of your ego driven characteristics. Things like taking things personally, things like
Yeah.
feeling criticized, things like being embarrassed. I mean, like I said, in the last 6 months, I've lost so many of these and it was when I gave my fear to the angels. And I can't, I can't communicate how amazing it feels, how secure and strong. I feel like a pyramid. I feel so strong that something could come flying at me and I'd be able to withstand it.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
no.
Like, I'm actually seeing things happen to me and I'm thinking, oh, isn't that fun? Isn't that interesting? And that's it. And I'm thinking, a year ago, that would have played on my
Yeah,
mind for
yeah, absolutely.
days and made me feel horrible. And now I'm like, oh, look at that. Doesn't
Yeah,
affect me
yeah.
anymore, which is
Nice.
nice. I really hope
No.
people
You are a
can achieve
pyramid. You're real solid. You are. You got a real good foundation.
with a spiky top.
No, it's on fire though, isn't it? It's blazing.
When my hair's up like that and it's all spiky at the top, I look
With
like a
your two
pineapple. That's what I
horses
look
on
like.
your chariot. Bodicea,
Sorry, say that
everyone,
again.
by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Okay, we're really going off subject here, but
I know we haven't talked
when I
about
found that
disease for a moment.
picture of Bodicea, I was like, that is me. That
Absolutely.
warrior fight woman with horses. I was like, that is so me. So
So
I'm
just
loving it.
touching on this subject, so we often like, you know, we have past life remembrances, and then we also anchor in the essences of certain like frequencies or beings just to help us on our missions. And I definitely feel Nicole has a lot of book, and Bodicea used to live just down the road.
Up the road, considering I randomly moved here from 4 counties away.
Yeah, which is
And
amazing.
my brand that I've been working on for 10 years now is the same pronunciation as her tribe's people, Iceni.
Wow, it's insane. My
That was
body's
really
lighting
strange.
up.
Yeah, that was really
And you
like,
absolutely have that amazing connection with your horses, don't you? So it's
yeah, oh, and oh, lately it's so
chariot.
funny. Maya, bless her, um, Bo always likes a scratch and he will literally walk up to you. In Indy, they all literally walk up to you and go, all right, mum, and swing their bum on you, go, scratch me there, will you? And he'll pin me against the wall in the stable to try and do it. And then Maya lately,
That's
she's the
funny.
most amazing one, but she's not that flexible. I found her scratchy spot. She is in heaven when I
Yeah,
scratch between her belly and her back legs. There's this little spot there she can't quite get to.
yeah, yeah.
And now she comes up to me all the time and she literally comes up to you, she's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And it's so cute. It's so
That's
cute. So yeah,
funny.
the relationship with them at the moment is just
So just
incredible.
you saying that, the angels just pinged me. Should we just touch on disease within animals quickly?
Ooh,
So I'm just
because
going
they're
to quickly
mirroring you.
explain about my dog. She's got real bad stomach issues, got bad processing. She had a bad time with my other dog who passed over. And I felt into her chakras a few weeks back, and I literally, oh, I felt so depressed. I put my hand on her root
Oh,
chakra, and I just felt depression, and I was like, oh, that was awful. And she was really poorly at the time. She was really disconnected from her owners to us. So I started clearing her chakras. I did a lot of um, work with rose quartz, and then I started cutting her cords because our
Mm,
pets, particularly our dogs and our cats, probably horses too, they have contracts with us to take on our energy and transmute it, and they haven't got
yeah.
anyone cutting their cords or anything. They're sponges for us, it's horrible in our house, and they're just lapping it all up. And so yeah, I just think you can cut your cords. Just say, I cut my cords for whatever your pet's name is, and I reattach the cord to the highest, return energy to sender, and you can move the energy with your hands. But yeah, check in for your
I
pet.
visualize cutting them, and actually, this is something I've only really recently started doing, and I found it extremely effective. My son had another really nasty cough on him, and it was probably the most persistent cough. Like, oh bless him. Well, so much so, I went and did a spell. I looked up a spell to do because I needed something to wear, and the next day, the difference was astonishing,
Wow, it's
absolutely astonishing.
amazing.
Um,
Power of
so
intent, and also, they make us out to be so not powerful, but man, the tools we have,
But it's
it's
also the
amazing,
energy
right?
exchange. I really
Right,
realized the energy, you know how they say in school, energy never changes, can never die, it can only change form. You have to put energy into something because that is the energy that change and manifests as what you want. So if you
right.
don't put enough energy into it, it won't come back because it doesn't have enough energy to deliver
Yeah,
what you're asking for,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
why gratitude and everything else has to go in, the forming of the idea, not how. You don't have to worry about how it's going to work. You just have to worry about what you want. And that is absolutely key into manifesting. It's that energy input to have energy output.
yeah, yeah, nice.
Going
Okay.
back to the cutting the cords business, it's something I've done recently, and I've noticed a real improvement in my daughter.
Oh,
And
right.
actually, with my horse, I've just literally visualized doing it, and it's more like rubber. It's almost like cutting seaweed. There's so much
Wow.
cord there, and because I visually do it,
Also, you
um,
and one of our other fractal members, you used to tap into your animals, didn't you? Like,
yeah, each other's animals
yeah, each
because
other's,
we
because you're
knew them,
too
but we weren't
connected, too
emotionally.
close. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, and you literally can, as soon as you think of them, and you just sort of open your mind up to how are they, you can pick up on the reading
Yeah,
instantly. And I've done speed healing sessions with my friend's horse and dogs and horses and stuff. I've done I've had the most incredible experiences, almost like astral travel healing around their body.
wow.
Yeah,
Huh,
weird. They've spoken to me. I mean,
wow.
Vicky and I will often share and say, speak to my horse, speak to this one, speak to the dog, speak to
Yeah,
whatever for me.
yeah,
Because also it's a double confirm. We might have checked in, but because we've got that emotional attachment,
yeah,
which is probably why you should cut cords
too
probably before you
close.
do it, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and yeah, the results we get are astonishing. Really, really good.
Wow. I
Definitely recommend.
definitely heard my dog. I started hearing her. I don't hear them all the time, but I often hear her, and I'm like, I'm like, what is that voice? I'm like, oh, it's the
Yeah,
dog. You've heard the
yeah.
horse, haven't you? Your
I've
horse.
heard the
Biggest
horses
horse.
multiple times. I had one horse. I was checking in with my horses. I had two boys at the time, and I was at home late, and I was checking in with one of them, and the other one butted into the conversation, which I found hysterical. But
That's
then,
funny.
opposite where they were stabled was this big black horse, and he was a bit of a git because he always tried to kick them. But he was a nice horse to people, but not to other horses. And all
Yeah.
of a sudden, he butted in and said, "I need help."
Huh?
And he sent me the most searing toothache. I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry.
Oh,
And I thought, oh my gosh, this horse is in so much pain. How am I going to do this? I can't let him suffer like that. But I can't exactly go up to the owner and say, by the way, your horse has a toothache.
yeah, yeah,
So I ended up calling my dentist and saying, listen, if I can get you onto the yard at like 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, can I pay for you to do this horse's teeth? And he was like, yeah, yeah, I'll do it. Anyway, I thought, let me just speak to the owner and see what she says. Because you never know if someone's going to be open to this stuff or not. Hi,
yeah,
I'm really sorry. Yours came and showed me a real toothache. Anyway, I did mention, I said, look, I know you'll think I'm crazy, but. And I just told her, and she's like, oh no, I'm really into that. I'm really into that. And thankfully, she
right.
actually called the dentist out, and the dentist came out and goes, she's like, I only had the dentist out kind of recently, within the last year or something like that. And you're meant to get them done every 6 months, but some you have to,
You're a
some you
horse
don't, can leave a bit longer.
dentist.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
basically, horses in the wild would file down their teeth a lot more because the variety of food they would eat would be a lot more tough, so they'd wear
Right.
their teeth down.
Yeah.
Whereas when they're on soft grass and soft hay and soft everything else in
Yeah. Yeah.
captivity, they don't, and their teeth can grow really long and become sharp because they wear themselves down all the time. These teeth permanently grow, which is why you say, there's that expression, how long are you in the teeth, or
Yeah.
how long is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
horse's tooth, something like that. And it's basically because horses' teeth start straight. They start straight, and then so they'll start like that as babies, and then they'll grow. So when they're an old horse, their teeth will make that shape.
Right.
The long in the tooth, yeah, that's the phrase. Yeah, and thankfully she got the dentist out, and the dentist said, yeah, I've not seen this horse for about 2 years, which as for an old horse is quite bad.
Right.
But yeah, he was fine after that. But that was
Oh,
just amazing because I was not expecting it. The animal communication is really cool. And they are
that's
very
really
psychic. They
cool.
know what's going on because my mare, she's warned me of things 3 weeks before they've
Wow.
happened.
Oh,
She tried to protect me.
it's
That was really
also,
cool.
I used to live like in a field next to a horse. I used to live in a caravan next to a horse, and I used to love living next to a horse because their heart chakra field is insanely massive. It's so big. So I just felt,
I
I
didn't
always
know
felt the
that.
energy of the horse near me, and it felt so healing and like expansive. And they also take horses into hospitals, don't they, for like really sick people because their
Really?
heart chakra, yeah, they take them in
I
just
thought they took dogs in.
yeah, dogs, and it's just like, touching a horse. There is healing, isn't it? There's something
It's
about it.
magical.
It's
I'm a bit
amazing.
afraid of it though because they're pretty big. And I just say to them, just seem like there's a big dog, but or a big chicken, really. Because they're so scared of everything. Seeing them as a big chicken that looks more like a big dog is probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, animals are incredibly
And also, oh, just got a light up.
gorgeous.
Obviously, unicorns are here. The unicorn energy is healing. That's probably
Mm,
why the horse energy feels so, just
mm.
lovely and kind and just nice.
I have to share this unicorn story because you just said unicorn, so I have to. So when I first met you and you were sort of up giving me the lowdown on dragons, unicorns, and the rest of it,
Fairies, gnomes, we can go through mermaids are real, fairies are wish.
I haven't met my mermaid yet. I think that's Vienna's bag.
Dragons
She
are
keeps bringing in
real.
about mermaids. But I looked over to my field. I'm lucky enough that we own a couple of acres here, and I looked over there, and I had 5 unicorns. They're in a herd, 5. And then they won't talk to me though. They're just there. They just like look at me and know,
Yeah,
like this knowing. There's nothing else that goes on. Nothing like the dragon,
yeah.
or dragons, should I say, which is
Funny that
incredible.
there's five as well. Five's number of
5.
change. Yeah,
And recently, literally 2 weeks ago, I thought, oh, I haven't checked in with them for a while, see if they're there. There's a
yeah.
baby. I saw a
Oh,
baby. So cute.
body's
And I
lighting
know it,
up.
I wouldn't have ever thought of that. I mean,
That's
it just didn't enter my
interesting.
mind. So as soon as I looked over, I saw a baby, like new, not quite newborn, but like a few
Yeah,
days old.
nice.
Oh, I need
Uh,
to look up what that means actually.
yeah, yeah. It must. I bet it means. Well, it's going to be something.
A new healing journey, maybe a new healing adventure.
Exactly. Something's been birthed, doesn't it? Something magical. You've birthed. Do you know what it's really synchronistic with the
Ooh.
ideas that you have for your 5D mission school? It's a baby
Yeah.
unicorn. It seems that you've
Okay.
birthed that idea, haven't you?
Oh, I'm getting blues. That must be something to do with that.
Lovely.
Anyway,
All
anything else you want me to
right.
say on healing and
Let's check
I
in
mean,
with
give it a go.
Jamie.
Healing
Oh,
is not
we could just have a.
just go
I'm
on.
just going to quickly mention again, we've talked about it before, but this would be a great time to mention the etheric surgery. You know,
Oh,
the etheric surgery is done on your physical body. Don't worry, you don't have to go under an anesthetic.
really?
Done by
No.
God, the galactics, and the angels in the etheric realm, but on your body. And I've got my mum's having one at the moment. She doesn't know. We give them to all of our friends all the time. We give them to all the other light workers. It's a must. And yeah, if you have physical symptoms,
Give them to your
people
children as well.
yeah,
My
I've
son
I've
had.
I know people that have had cancer and, I haven't told them because they haven't felt mum or the angels, but I've had surgeries with them and they've it just helps, Why wouldn't you want God?
It
I
massively
haven't
helps it.
explained it very well. Do you want to explain it, Nikki? Give them a rundown
Right,
of
so
etheric surgery.
everybody's physical body has an energy counterpart, and your energy counterpart can be blocked up to 18 months before you get a physical symptom. Up to.
Right.
If your energy systems don't work, you don't work. Kind of like if you don't put food in the tank, your engine won't run. So kind of similar, but on the energy level, there are so many more complexities and so many more systems that we have. We have actually 9 energy systems in our body, and these energy systems feed our physical and fuel our physical, which is why you can get people who can live off light and water,
Right.
because they are getting their energy from divinity and light
Yeah.
instead of physical food density.
What it'll be
And
more like in 5D because it will be a
yeah,
lighter dimension. So just,
absolutely.
we stopped eating
Yep.
as much now.
We will vibrate a higher energy level, which means we will not be physical matter, and therefore we will live forever. We will not need food. We will see our dear and departed
I
because we'll
really
be
like
with
chocolate
them.
though.
I'm sure you know what, this will be good chocolate. You can invent your own good,
And
healthy chocolate.
donuts, I really like them as well.
You can have your own chocolate factory if you want, love.
Oh, hallelujah.
Paul will be with you, I tell you.
Does he like chocolate as
Anyway,
well?
he loves. Oh, he's a chocolate monster.
Oh,
He's
I
terrible.
love chocolate.
And I wouldn't mind if it's dark chocolate because it's slightly healthier. But no, he's a milk chocolate boy.
I'm right there
Anyway,
with
going back
him.
to the
Etheric
old
surgery.
etheric surgery. So what happens is you have etheric beings of the highest order, of highest caliber, highest pure of divine intention, working on your energy counterpart, clearing the things that have been implanted there, maybe unbeknownst to you. In fact, completely unbeknownst to
Yeah,
you when you get
absolutely.
injections. They're on the tip of every needles ever made,
Mm.
tattoos, brain holes that can be experienced from watching too much television, computer games, having
Chemtrails.
too much artificial chemicals like aspartame or however you pronounce it, certain sugars, and
Yeah,
just general pollution, rubbish,
yeah.
crap, accumulations of this, that, and the other. And let me see if I can give an energy experiment or explanation to help people go, oh, right, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. I'm trying to think of one. I probably won't until the call's over because that's typically me. Can you think of an energy? You change in energy. Oh, someone walks in the room, an atmosphere. You go to a party or you go to a room and there's a really strange energy in the room and you just can't quite put your finger on it. But
Sounds like every party, every party I get to, I'm really excited. Then I get there, and I think because we're being like it was workers, we're sponges. I get there, and initially I feel really bad. I feel like, oh, there's so much going on, isn't there? Always takes me a while to be like to come back around because I'm like bombarded by the. That's not answering your question, though, is it really?
got what my question was. Um, yes, etheric surgery. So it's wonderful to do. You will find that, for example, my son, my husband's father, has had it's the beta brain tumor, the one that doesn't really grow and spread and doesn't really do any
Right.
damage. But it's been there. They think it's probably been there for all his life. He had 108 brain holes or something like that,
Wow.
and he has now Alzheimer's. And or he had the start of it. I think it's kind of stopped a bit now, which is amazing. But he's been on the NCD2 natural zeolite as well, which is amazing. It's like a crystalline cage that traps heavy metals and can take them out of the body, and it's the
Wow.
only substance that can cross the blood-brain barrier. Say that quick when you're tired or you've had a bit to drink.
That's
Um,
secret.
and that will help to purify the body and the mind. It helps relieve autism and general symptoms. Anyway, I'm 45 years old and I had 15 holes in my brain. I've always been pretty much into horses and
That's really low. That's
it's
really
pretty low.
good. Yeah.
My my 2-year-old son had 67 holes in the brain.
But he's a sponge,
And
isn't he? He's just like
yeah,
taking on so much, bless him.
he's taken on the density for my husband and his grandfather. And at 2 years old, he's
Masculine
deep
collective, I
soul.
feel. I do often feel that with him. But anyway, just jumping back to the surgery. So it's just an opportunity for the height that, so Nicole just touched on it, an amazing way of describing it. The highest powers working on your body. So why wouldn't you, for an extremely small, I'm going to say money now, and everyone will be like, oh no, spiritual people asking for money, but
33 quid, yeah. I mean, it's incredible.
it just
But,
shows.
you know, it's part of people's journeys.
Exactly, and it just show you saying, committing and being like, yeah, I'm going to do this because this is what I want. 5D, I want my evolution, I want, and we discussed this previously, it's preparing the physical body for the ascension, right? Because it's a
Which is a bit
physical
of a heavy ride.
ascension.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's
It
tough
is the physical
going,
transformation. And
especially
that
last
goes to,
week with the Schumann. Just the Schumann is through the roof,
Schumann's
man.
incredible.
Schumann is booming.
It really is. It's quite a work of art, really, isn't it? Some of those screenshots.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, we hope we've covered enough about the topic to get you curious. And feel free if you're a bit
Funny that you
stuck in
just said curious because
decoding.
it's like curing.
Yeah.
Curious.
Yes, you
Funny.
and us. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. Nice decode there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so if you're having a bit of trouble decoding your particular ailment, do let us know. Be a great little puzzle for us.
yeah, we love it. We love finding the breakthroughs. It's so fun, like, the Blues Clues and looking into it all, and the numbers and the words, the spells. It's all one big game of life.
It's awesome. Right, well, we love you endlessly. We'll speak to you very soon. We hope you've enjoyed it.
We
Come and
love
see us all live
you.
soon because we love to hear from you and see you. And thanks. Ta-ta for now, as they say.
Ta-ta.
In the UK. Ta-ta for now.
Love you, bye.
Love you. Bye.